Hello everybody, I'm holding my camera kind of poorly, but we are currently at the first track of Drift Week. First morning, Drift Week 4, and let's go do a walk around of the cars. Let's go to wide. Let's start off with Fielding Shredder and the Shredder Mobile. This is your 4th Drift Week. Are you excited?
Same car, 4 Drift Weeks, unbelievable.
What have you changed?
I've added a few things. Let's see, what did I change? I got noise canceling headphones.
Do they work?
Yeah, they work
Okay.
good. What did I do? Okay, put me on the spot here now.
The car's been so good, you hardly have to do anything.
Oh, I had to redo the rear end and stuff. Oh, I put blinkers. I put a horn.
Did you put a real plate?
Yep. I got over.
That's a tip tag.
It's in date at least.
Okay.
I have insurance on the car.
One of the funny things about Drift Week is most people don't even have plates or anything on the cars.
Last one I did Drift Week 3. I did Drift Week 3 on Drift Week 2's plate, which was very far expired. But whatever. Yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, you've had an amazing season so far. Great driving. By the way, the back of this entire car was ripped off and you can't tell.
Yeah.
And he was in a big accident in the front.
it's still not perfect.
And you can kind of tell.
Yeah. It's all right.
It's because this isn't the KBD side of the car.
Right. Exactly. Look, I want to show you my blinker.
Oh, you're so excited about these blinkers.
Yeah. Look at that.
The things we're excited about.
I got a horn now. I'm legal.
All right. Well, I will be out there to tandem with you in a bit. I brought a car. All right. Let's, uh-oh, we're in trouble for something, I think. Yep. All right. We have Seth cut the car, back of his car off. This is a supercharged E36. Did you make only good decisions on building the car this time?
Yes, because I was going to do way more, and I said, screw that. I don't want to kill myself anymore. So.
This car is always like a shell 2 weeks before the event, and he's a madman. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited, actually.
I like how the back of the car is open to the outside in a street car.
I haven't made a fireball yet, so later things.
Let's look at the back. We're gonna have to wait till it's off, but this is all, oh, he can do the trunk. There you go. This is what he thinks a Drift Week car should be. It's so funny the difference between everyone's builds. Like some cars are so basic, and then he took a car with a trunk and cut it out because his life was too easy on the last Drift Weeks. So cool. We'll do more in-depth looks at all these cars in a bit. And here's Brandon's brand new car. Why are you building new cars for every Drift Week?
You know why, Aaron?
Why?
You know why I had to do all this work?
Why?
Because you told me I couldn't drive without a cage. That's why. Also, I sold that car to Trenton, which is now a nightmare. I feel really bad about that.
That was all your fault.
Yes.
The JZX over there?
I offloaded that problem to someone else. I don't want to look at it that way.
Did you know it?
No.
You knew
It was a fresh motor, and it blew up the first time you drove it.
It blew up multiple times.
Then they
on
put
Drift
another
Week
motor,
3.
had nothing to do with me, it blew up again. Then they put another motor, nothing to do with me, it blew
How
up
many
again.
total motors has that car
12.
consumed?
No joke. Since
No?
I first saw it, the customer that bought it from Japan, 12 motors.
Why would someone think that putting another motor in would solve the
It
problem?
always solves the problem. Something is wrong with that car, it's cursed, I don't want anything to do with it.
That's why you sold it to Trenton, one of your friends.
But I built this because of a roll cage. I had my other car, which I could have brought, even though it's ugly and beat up.
How's this car?
I have never driven it. Never driven it. I built this for clutch kickers, and then Drift Week, so let's just 2 for 1.
Cool.
So I'm literally taking this to clutch kickers with the intent of earning more money than I spent on the car. Maybe we can do that in our interview, talk about that.
I drove your last car at Medford during Trenton's event with the Chinesium 3071.
Same turbo.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
You like it?
Such a good job.
Drive this one, so I think it's gonna be the same.
Okay. All right.
Drive together?
Let's go see. Yeah, I'm almost ready. I've never driven this track. I need a few practice laps. So this, boys and girls, is Trenton. We're not going to troll him too much because he's working hard on the car. This is the famed car that's consumed 12 motors. They're 13. They're definitely not going to have any problems with this. It's awesome to work on cars at the track and have the motors apart, so we're just going to let them enjoy themselves. He has Dustin Miles over there, FD driver. Okay, walking over here. This is a super cool car. It is a IS300 naturally aspirated JZ. There should be nothing more reliable than a JZ when you take the turbo off, because they're built for crazy power, and then you remove the power. All you have to do is keep liquids in the thing. I love this thing. He painted it and cleaned it up just for Drift Week, I think. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. This thing was really ugly and burnt, half freaking crashed and stuff, so it took a lot of work.
Do you think this is the best idea of a drift car? Would you rather have a turbo motor and more power, or you just love this?
I think as for something like this, I think you would want something like NA for sure.
You think so?
This is for me though.
Have you driven this track yet?
I have not. So
Tell me at the end of the day if it's enough power.
All right. I don't think it will be, but we'll see.
We'll see. It looks rad though. Whew. All right. He's got the style part down. Now he's just gonna want a turbo by the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
This car looks amazing. If I remember correctly, I think this is an S54 car. So beautiful. Is this car S54?
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a beautiful car. I love this thing. Are you gonna show me the under the hood?
It's not my car, but yeah. Your discretion is advised.
Oh man, it looks stock. I love it. This is like kind of the ultimate little BMW build for me. A 4-door E46. You do lack some of the cool things you get with the E46 M3, such as, you know, the axles and diff and all that stuff if you don't swap it in.
Oh, it's all M3.
Oh, is it all M3?
Underneath, it's all M3 subframe, everything.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
So these look so beautiful. I love them.
This is literally a 4-door M3 at this point.
Well, it looks rad.
And George is really serious about the 4-door.
Yeah.
He doesn't take it lightly. He represents.
Oh, the sedan is best?
Yeah, he's very serious about that.
The sedan's best until you try and buy wide body, and you have to like wide body the doors of the cars too. That's the first thing you realize when you have a 4-door BMW. You're like, what? That looks difficult. All right, what is this thing?
S52.
S52? Is this yours?
Yeah.
Very cool. I love me an M3. They're so expensive now. I've had probably like 10 M3s, and they used to just be like $3 grand, $4 grand. You flip in and out of them, and they just.
$325.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But it has the better motor,
It's got
so it
everything.
feels
It's got
exactly like an
everything
M3.
M3.
Yeah. There's no difference at that point. They're just so expensive now.
I don't want to mess with my M3. I'm gonna keep my M3 all stock and OEM-ish.
Yeah. It's the fault of all of us guys that trashed them because they were cheap and we treated them like jokes. All right, here's the 2-door real M3. This is Woutz. He's from Amsterdam. This car has done, this will be its 3rd Drift Week. It just keeps cruising through. And one of the funny things about a car like this is Trenton's car over there, the JZX, or I don't know, a lot of these cars like the Corvettes or whatever, they look like they might be a lot cheaper than the E46 M3, but after, you know, 3 Drift Weeks, overall cost of this car doing the Drift Weeks and everything else, this is probably one of the cheapest cars here to operate by far. I don't even think this ever breaks. It broke like an oil line once. That little oil line right there. Whoop, tap. And other than that, like this thing never breaks. Here we have S13, S14. He's got the spider manifold. I hate this manifold so much. Is that your favorite part of the car, the manifold?
I'm gonna probably have to take it off today.
Oh, you have to take it off?
Yeah.
That's a lot of bolts for a manifold. I love the team aspect of these guys. Matching. The best part about going to the track and drifting is drifting with your friends. If you're alone, you get bored so fast. Like drifting isn't even that much fun alone. I have that problem a lot of the time. Like I'll try and sit down on a simulator and like after 10 minutes, you're like, I'm done.
Yeah, you can't just run solo laps on the simulator.
But bringing all your boys with you,
out and get everyone on, then it's definitely fun.
you're guaranteed to have a good time with all your friends.
For sure.
And if one of the cars breaks, you know your friends are like obligated to help you with it.
Oh yeah. Last Drift Week, Derek's car was broken the entire first 2 days of the trip or whatever, and we spent probably all day at Villains just working on his car before we drove because like you got to drive together, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't start driving until 6 p.m. first day of Villains.
Dang. Villains was so much more fun than I thought it would be.
Shout out to some one of the public guys that came out. They brought me injectors.
Roman.
And fixed the
Thank
issue,
you.
So
That's
good
awesome.
time.
Yeah.
And,
Everybody was like, "You're crazy for going there." I was like, "I don't know. It looks really fun."
Oh, and then
And
2
it was-
days before we get there, you sent us a video of someone totaling their car on the wall, and we're like, cool, now we're really...
Even the drivers meeting, they're like, everyone's gonna total the car. Oh my God, wait. All right, Nick over here, he's doing the old Formula D thing using this as cheater seat time. Is that what the plan is? Bring it out, come practice a ton, bring a normal car, not your Formula D like 1,000 horsepower car.
Yeah, this is my old M3. It's what I started drifting in. The only real things I've done to it before Drift Week was just an angle kit and suspension and a handbrake. And then for Drift Week, I put a blower on it just to give it a little bit more power. It's
you supercharged it?
Yeah, it's like 300 maybe.
That's probably a huge difference though.
It definitely wakes it up.
Is that like an old Dynan setup or something?
It's an active auto work. So,
okay.
So it's just the level 1 setup. And then I put a bolted cage in it too, so I can tame it in places like this.
Rad.
So it's got a weld-in door bar, bolt-in cage.
Very cool.
Kept the rear interior, so it's quiet on the road.
Did you take any laps yet?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm excited. I want to go drive. We'll drive together. There's Mesker, the 350Z that has done all the Drift Weeks and hardly ever breaks. What is the biggest breakage on Drift Week you've had so far?
Power steering rack.
And a control arm? And that's about it?
Yeah.
That's not bad. You might actually have the cheapest car to operate on Drift Week besides Wout.
Probably.
His car I don't think has broken anything except an oil line.
That's nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go drive in a minute. And here we have the Velino tent. So there's Ian from Velino, Japan. And what happens over here is they have brought right around 1,000 tires on the trip, and they'll be selling them to the drivers. Well, they pre-sold them to all the drivers. So all the drivers, they just bring out cars and they don't have to bring out trailers or anything. And we trailer all their stuff around, their tires. We have 4 tire machines on the trip. We try to make it like a vacation, like a cruise, everything like not included price-wise or anything, but like inclusive service, there you go, whatever. We're trying to make the thing like a really fun trip where you don't have to worry about all these things. So having all your tires here, having someone to change them for you, and you just like, we have catering over there, try to make it a cool experience. And without these guys, we wouldn't be able to do the trip because it's too hard to do tires. You need like a professional tire place that doesn't have a wholesaler and a distributor and like all those people in the way. And you need a brand like Velino that wants to be out here and excited and everything. So thank you very much. Yeah. All right, and here is Velino Mike's, the owner of the USA portion. Look at this wrap. He needs to rewrap this thing. He brought his personal drift car out, which is an E46 M3. He drives at the Lone Star Drift events, and he's been around forever. So we'll see him on track. You can see we have multiple trailers full of Velinos like this, by the way. So they're just everywhere. Just cram-packed. Coming over here, we're starting to get into the Corvette brigade. This is Max's car. He had to go out and outball on us. He got the HGK carbon Kevlar kit, which is surprisingly inexpensive. I don't know why everybody doesn't go out and get this kit with how much, like, how baller it is. See him on track in a bit. Oh, he's got Enkeys on it. Beat up 350Z. I think the E36 is now the most popular chassis on Drift Week. Probably because they're so cost effective to run. This thing looks amazing. I love this thing. This thing is so cool. What's the engine? Let's see. Oh, it's beautiful. So cool. Oh, you have to tell me the story of this. What's going on with that?
So technically it's structural for the intrusion bars. So it actually comes from the frame rail. There's actually a 1 inch by 0.95 DOM tube that comes up to the stroke tower that's actually structural. And then we just put sheet metal to make the tubs.
Interesting. Cool. I love it. It looks beautiful.
It gives it the weird lean over.
Yeah. Rad E36. All right, and more Corvettes. And we're gonna continue having some more drift cars show up throughout the day. Some of them are running late. This is Richard's car.
I barely fit in it, but it's fun.
It's beautiful.
I wouldn't go that far, brother.
Beautiful. And then Spencer just upgraded to a Corvette. This has been the most shit show Corvette ever, I think. Putting it together. You make it sound that way. How many times did the transmission come out?
5.
You had to pull the transmission 5 times in how much time frame?
2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was miserable.
This thing is so cool. Someone's drifting a C7 on Drift Week.
And then also you're like, what?
You're getting outballed. Somebody bought a C7. You could have done that with your money.
Coulda, but it's all busted.
It's all busted.
Yours will be that way by the end of the trip. Look at this. He sold him a motor with the blown head gasket. Where's?
It's been 3 or 4 motors in this thing already.
Oh.
He sold us a car with a curse.
I'm about to get crushed by this thing. So milky. Milky, milky, milky. I guess that's a problem cylinder right there. He looks a little different than the others.
The cleanest one.
So we can go look at the back and see what that looks like. Do you already pull the gasket? This is early damage. This was not damaged on track, obviously. This was before Drift Week started.
That's not what you want to be doing right there.
What a mess.
Make sure you don't drop the shim. There's probably a shim on the inside there. I don't know exactly where the shims are. You guys got to be at your own risk. You have to be in order.
Brutal.
One is not like the others.
R.I.P. Jay-Z.
We got a Jay-Z. I want to see inside this thing. I'm next on mine.
Day 1, we're working on the car.
Why didn't you work on that car at home?
Oh, we did. We did plenty of that.
Why didn't you finish it?
We did.
My car's getting worked on too. So what's wrong with your car?
Fuel pressure.
That's it?
So we're just checking filters and pump and basic stuff.
Okay, don't let me stop you.
Small problem.
Keep going. I'm just gonna troll
I don't want
you
you
the
to think my
entire
car's not
trip
reliable.
and ask.
The one time I tandem with you, my car's unreliable.
How about your Drift Week 3 car?
It's ready.
How about your Drift Week 2 car?
It's gone.
That's
It's
bad.
in the graveyard.
It's right there. It's literally like right there.
Oh yeah, I was thinking Drift Week 1. Yeah. It's on 3. Oh yeah. No, okay, I'm with you now. I'm with you. I was a brain.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
They've all got
Quit
problems.
stopping. Buy an F80, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Chill. F80 is great.
Yeah, look at this. They're about to pull the head to replace a piston on a BMW that should literally be under warranty. On day 1 of Drift Week, this is absolutely ridiculous. But Jordan from RK Tunes is here, and he seems competent because he does this all the time, I guess.
I'm not a mechanic, so my guides all the time. I just like have done it enough times to sort of know what's what.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, could be worse.
That sounds like me working on my car, except he seems like he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, I can do this. I'm fairly confident I can do this.
Jeez. They don't know what the problem is yet. They have 0 compression, he said, on a cylinder. So they're overnighting a piston setup.
Head gasket, bones,
gasket.
oil pan stuff. We gotta go to LA to get rod bearings and other things.
Do you know what killed it?
No, so we changed the injector. Injectors can be a problem. Like I brought spares. Usually they stick open, but that's just like we have no idea. Like you have to get the injector flow tested,
Yeah.
and if it's low, it's that. If not, I don't know. I don't know.
Woo! This gives me anxiety. Just having this engine
The
open.
easy part. Putting it back together, that's tricky.
What?
It gives you anxiety. About me.
Yeah, this is the owner.
half. Lap and a half.
How did you drift this car before you brought it?
If only in a compound. That's it for a little bit, maybe 30 seconds. So there was no prior testing.
It's gonna absolutely work. There's no way this isn't gonna work.
Jordan's car lasted all the Drift Week. He's already done, I don't know, 15 laps and perfectly fine. It's one of those things you're never gonna know.
I think it's because you're hanging out with Adam.
Right? Probably. Jinx it. But,
This is gonna be like his SR setup. You're gonna go through
hopefully
6
not.
of these.
Hopefully not. No. I already went through a lot of N54, so I'm not trying to play that game.
Really?
So, yeah.
welding wire thing we hold this up with.
You know how to work on this thing?
Absolutely not. I know how it operates, but this is way. If I didn't have Jordan here, I would already packed up.
Yeah, it operates with a key and a button.
Absolutely, yeah, it does, but not. It's 100 mechanical systems and this and modules and everything for everything. Look at him. He's a genius.
It should say, I looked at last time, remember we found it said EAS?
Are you showing me parts?
Oh no, this one's still okay. Everything's fine.
Everything's just like lay it down in the dirt.
Huge shout out to all the sponsors of Drift Week, starting with BC Racing Custom Coilovers, who support more grassroots and professional drifters than any other coilover company. Thank you to WhatMonstersDo.com for supporting all of our content for so long, including our Japanese content. Use the discount code EBISU on their website for a discount. Thank you to NK Wheels. They make so much cool stuff, all the way from my drift wheels all the way up to F1 wheels. Thank you to ECU Master for supporting grassroots guys all the way up to the best driver in the world, James Dean. Thank you to Y-Play Imports. If you need a rad right-hand drive car from Japan, hit up Trenton at Y-Play Imports and get them before the prices get too high. And thank you to Drift HQ for bringing in that support vehicle. And congratulations on everything that you've been doing this year, Drift HQ. You are killing it.
Hello YouTube, I am gonna go out on track. This is my first lap at Drift Week at Horseleaf Mile, and I'm excited. I haven't ever driven this track before. This is kind of the purpose of Drift Week, is to knock off as many bucket list tracks across the world or country as possible in the shortest amount of time, and to do it cost effectively, because again, to go drive, you know, like 9 days on track would take a really long time if you were just doing it on weekends, you know, 1 or 2 days at a time on weekends. So we're gonna take out my S14, let me show it to you. It's a V8 S14, just simple T56 and all that stuff. Yeah, and I'm gonna just go take a few laps on Horseleaf, kind of feel it out, be gentle with the car, not wreck hopefully, and then I'll build up to it once fielding and everybody can come out.